Welcome to Deep Dive. I'm your host, Kevin Benedict, and I want to thank all of you for joining us today. I'm really excited to be here this week reporting live from Evolve 19. And my first guest here is David Downing, Executive Vice President of Product Management and Product Marketing. Welcome.
Thank you, Kevin. Great to be here.
So tell me, in this event, what do you get to do?
Well, I get to talk to interesting people like you and others from the press. We have an analyst team here this week as well, so we have a special analyst team. I'll have lots of customer communications, and I'll have a couple keynotes in the breakouts telling our customers and prospects about what innovation we have coming in the coming year.
That's very exciting. But before we jump into the meat of our discussion, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I came to ASG in 2015. I've had a long history in the tech industry, telecom, both hardware and software, a lot of general management positions and product management positions. I had my own business before I joined ASG Technologies, trying to help other software businesses understand their product portfolio and how to shape those. So when I came to work for ASG, it was actually as a consultant, and that work was so interesting. I'm here now for 5 years.
That's terrific. So what are you most excited about sharing with the audience here this year?
Well, we've got a lot of new announcements to make. Some of them we made today, a couple of them we make tomorrow. So maybe we can get into each one of those individually, but we can do that now or
Let's
later.
do it now.
Okay. Right on top, we're introducing our Zenith platform. A platform is different than a product because it has producers and end users. And so this platform in particular works with our Mobius content management system. And it's going to be a new way for people to think about designing business process. We're combining classical BPM modeling with robotic process automation and enabling you to do that in the same design environment, the same studio. So you don't have to jump around, you don't have to worry about islands of automation of RPA, and does your BPM actually work end to end. We add some other things like a presentation layer, so people can do common consoles and see the actual performance of their business process, and that's all built right in.
That's fascinating. So you have the robotic process automation is in the same workflow, and you can just add, here's the manual, here's the human interaction part, and then here is the automation.
That's right.
Aspect of it.
Yeah, the business process flow, and we do attended and unattended bots. And we're actually going to demo that on the stage tomorrow morning, so I hope you're here to see that.
I will be.
Good.
So you're involved in information management, and you probably have all different kinds of categories, but let's just talk about information management that you're responsible for. How have you seen that whole market evolve over the last few years?
Well, I think the big wave is digital transformation. Companies want to have a compelling and differentiated business model, and they're trying to align all their activities to come up with that differentiation. To start with, they need good insight into customer behavior, employee behavior, so we start with our data intelligence capability, where we can not just present the metadata of the key data assets that you have, but help you categorize and find insights in that information. That's really the first step of any digital transformation. Now we can do the modernization aspects as well, but obviously people that are really looking for the competitive business model want to start with insight. From there, as we just talked about, you can make that insight come alive with a new way to do business process modeling, all the way through to content management. One of the unique things about our content management and our Zenith platform, how it works together, is sometimes privacy rules now start to conflict with how much digital information that you can use on you and I. And so if you build the privacy governance, if you think about privacy right from the beginning of the content you ingest or the content that you create in a business process, well, that takes a whole extra step out. And it really lowers risk when you're thinking about business transformation. So that's the core of our information business. Of course, we also have a systems business, which is the other half of our business. And they actually have some inner workings between the two.
So let's take your two primary responsibilities, product management and product marketing, and let's look first, product management. How has that whole discipline changed over time? Because it seems like now, especially when you have subscription-based models and you have cloud-based platforms, things like that, you can see in real time what works and what doesn't, and what's popular and what's not, and you can, it's just a whole different world. So you're getting this constant feedback, isn't it?
The analytics, the analytics you can get on what a user does with your product is pretty amazing. How much time they spend in any one place of it. I think what's changed is the product management discipline was pretty siloed. It was pretty straightforward. I wrote requirements for the design team to actually take a design and make it come alive as software. But today, in an agile world, it's much more visual. We have to actually create those pictures. We have to make sure that we have the visualization of what the user experience is going to be all the way back. And then that has to carry through, just like you said, all the way from our beta and our launch of how people are using this, what are they finding, is the behavior what we expected. So there's a lot more elements or dimensions to it than when I started 15 years ago in product management.
And one of the other things that have changed over the last 15 years is this kind of really core emphasis on customer experience.
Yeah.
How have you seen that rise to the surface as one of those key differentiators?
A lot of software products keep adding capabilities, and they add capabilities, and they become these rich things, but they lose sight of what the persona, what's the path that I actually am trying to achieve with this piece of software. Software is trying to automate something. It's trying to give me insight where I don't have it. And so one of the things that we really concentrate on is what is the persona we're trying to address, and then how are they going to use that? What is their user experience and their flow, their navigation of what they're going to experience through the software. So that's a very important part of our design aspect and what we spend a lot of time on.
So the second part of your title, product marketing, talk to us about how they are the same and they're different, and not all companies will pair those two together.
Right.
Sometimes they'll have two different leaders taking over those, but you've got both those titles there. So how does that work for you?
So on the product management side, you create your positioning, where you want to be in the market. And that's tough right now because the market segments are consolidating, right? And so the positioning may not be as clear. So it's the product marketing team's job to make that message crystal clear, where the value proposition is, where the differentiation is, why you want to consider this software product.
So if we look at the whole move to cloud, how has that changed the way you market your product? Because when products move to platforms, often they go to subscription, kind of the subscription business models.
Right.
And that means when you market changes to, is it once that you market up front, or do you have to market all the time? Talk to us about how that's evolved.
So there is a lot of packaging and licensing constructs that you have to think about way ahead of time, where if you're just doing an on-prem, you might have a lot more flexibility. So that gets set very early. On the other hand, it kind of takes a big weight off of you. You're not so worried about your customer having to install and learn this or that. You can just focus on, because all of that infrastructure work is taken care of. You're not worried about your impact to the data center. You've already taken care of that part of it. So in one sense, I think it's a lot easier for us, since a little bit more work up front and getting the packaging just right. And as you said, just as we start to understand the behavior of how users use it, we can adapt packages and licensing schemes.
So the final question here, David, talk to us about, again, what are the key themes you would like people to remember after they've come and gone from Evolve 19?
Well, ASG is a young company in a lot of respects, right? We like to say that we are big enough to matter and small enough to care. So we're very passionate about the innovation that we're creating. I hope people that come to the conference this week see that innovation. We're going to announce quite a few patents this week, patent pending issues, and just be excited about the places that we're really trying to innovate to improve their business.
David, thank you for joining us today.
You,
have a great conference,
right.
And I want to thank all of you for joining us today.